mass protests are breaking out across Minnesota and across the United States as Donald Trump's ICE Gestapo murdered in cold blood a United States citizen in connection with Trump's invasion of Minneapolis. This murder took place in the South Minneapolis area. We now know who the victim was, a lady by the name of Renee Nicole Good. You heard those protesters at the beginning of this video, peaceful protesters screaming out, "Say her name, say her name, Renee Nicole Good, Renee Nicole Good," in her glove compartment of her vehicle where she was brutally murdered by the ICE Gestapo. You can see the glove compartment is filled with stuffed animals right there. We've heard from Renee Nicole Good's mother, who said that her daughter was a very peaceful and loving and caring person who was probably terrified when she was approached by these masked ICE Gestapo. We saw them approach her with weapons drawn with masks and then shoot inside the vehicle. The officer positioned himself at first in front of the vehicle and then moved to the side. And when there was clearly no threat, started shooting her in her face. I mean, we have the photo right there. I've played this video multiple times. I don't need to play it again. You can go and watch the prior videos if you want to watch it, but this was clearly an unjustified shooting. By the way, when I used to be a litigator, I handled cases just like this. This is a textbook wrongful death, unjustified, excessive force situation. And again, we're seeing protests in Manhattan, protests in cities and states across the country. And now we are hearing from Kristi Noem, who is in Minneapolis, and she is further defaming right now the deceased victim, Renee Nicole Good. Kristi Noem moments ago says that the ICE officer you saw right there actually feared for his life, and he was firing defensive shots against a domestic terrorist. That's what this vile and despicable regime is now using to justify their murder. They're calling Renee Nicole Good a domestic terrorist. Here, play this clip.
She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle and attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family.
Then Kristi Noem goes on to say that she was using her vehicle as a weapon. Textbook domestic terrorism, she says. Notice how the Trump regime, they are the terrorists. Trump regime and their Gestapo are the terrorists. They're ISIS in America, terrorizing our peaceful communities. And notice how quickly they just throw around the word terrorism. You're a domestic terrorism. You're a domestic terrorist. These are vile, despicable, evil, sick human beings. And Kristi Noem is right there at the top. What a sick, vile piece of trash she is. Here, play this clip.
This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice to prosecute it as domestic terrorism because it's clear that it's being coordinated. People are being trained and told how to use their vehicles to impede law enforcement operations and then to run over anybody who gets in their way while they go out there and try to disrupt peace and public safety. And Americans deserve better.
More from Kristi Noem right here. She's asked about the injuries from the agents. We saw with our own eyes, there was no injuries. The agent killed Renee Nicole Good, 37-year-old United States citizen, in cold blood, no injuries. We saw what took place. But Kristi Noem says he was hit by the vehicle. He had to go to the hospital and he had to see a doctor. BS. Phony propaganda by a Putin-esque regime that needs to go. That needs to go. Play this clip.
Secretary, can you expand too on the agent's injuries? The president said that he's lucky to be alive.
The officer was hit by the vehicle. She hit him. He went to the hospital. A doctor did treat him. He has been released, but he's going to spend some time with his family.
More from Kristi Noem right here. A reporter says, so have ICE operations paused today? She goes, no, they're still rounding people up right now. Play this clip.
ICE operations paused because of what happened today.
No, we're still out on the streets doing our work to get dangerous criminals off of the streets of Minneapolis.
What about has the agent been relieved of his duty? Play this clip.
Investigation and release more facts when it's appropriate.
Secretary, no, has the agent been relieved of his duty, or can you give us any other insight?
No, we're following the standard protocol procedures we do in situations like this. When there's an officer involved shooting, we make sure that we get the facts and that we are getting the statements from everybody involved and make sure that investigators are handling the decisions.
Then Kristi Noem goes on to say what they really want to achieve here. They want to create the exact same situations that existed post George Floyd, and they want to use that as part of their politics to say, look, there are protesters who are not peaceful, so we need to declare martial law and bring in more troops for an invasion, invoke the Insurrection Act. And here's what Kristi Noem says. She goes, this city has burned before because of your governor and your mayor. Don't worry, we're your protectors. No, you are the terrorists. Let's not mince words. I know on corporate news, they'll be like, oh, well, no, they are terrorists. It's that simple. They go around peaceful communities terrorizing people. It's textbook definition. Kristi Noem and her brigade of thugs. Play this clip.
This city has burned before, and your mayor and your governor let it happen. President Trump is not going to let that happen. He and our federal law enforcement officers are here to bring peace and to bring public safety and to ensure that criminal activity is stopped and that people who perpetuate it will face consequences.
She then starts to say, but under walls, your crime is up 50%. Shows you what their intentions are. One, to lie, and two, to make this about political, partisan aims to hoist up their fascism to cover up their cover-up of a child sex trafficking ring in the Epstein files. Play this clip.
Since Governor Walz has been in charge of Minnesota, we have seen homicides go up by over 50%. That's also during Mayor Frye's tenure as well. Since President Trump took office, Governor Walz has released over 470 violent criminals back onto the streets here in Minneapolis. He has another 680 of them still within his jurisdiction that he could give to us today to face the consequences for their crimes.
And here's what she says about Mayor Frye. Play this clip.
With that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Secretary, no, Mayor Frye called the claims of self-defense BS. How do you respond to that?
I say that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's very clear that this individual was harassing and impeding law enforcement operations. Our officer followed his training, did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself and defend his fellow law enforcement officers.
You know what's easier than fixing a problem? Not having the problem in the first place. Your liver is one of those organs that you don't think about until you have to. Supporting it daily is one of those small things that can make a huge difference in how you feel overall, and that's where Dose comes in. Dose for your liver is a clinically backed liver health supplement. This isn't just another capsule or powder. Dose is a liquid supplement. It's taken in a daily 2-ounce shot, and it tastes like fresh squeezed orange juice. Here's why it matters. Your liver is your body's filter. It processes everything you consume and handles over 500 plus daily functions: energy production, digestion, fat metabolism, vitamin storage. When your liver is overworked, you feel it. Dose helps cleanse the liver of unwanted stressors that may be slowing your liver down, and it promotes daily liver function so that your liver can do its job. 0 sugar, 0 junk, 0 calories. And when you take Dose daily, you're going to reduce sluggishness, get rid of those midday crashes, support your metabolism, and even aid your daily digestion. Plus, this is the real deal. There are 2 double-blind placebo-controlled studies showing Dose's positive impact on liver enzyme levels. Are you ready to give your liver the support it deserves? Head to dosedaily.co/Meidas or enter Meidas to get 35% off your first subscription. Your body does so much for you. Let's do something for it. That's dosedaily.co/Meidas, MEIDAS, for 35% off your first month subscription.
Now, we're hearing from citizens in Minneapolis like this individual right here, a self-proclaimed right-leaning eyewitness who has the following to say. Play this clip.
Around 8:30 this morning, I was just getting up and I heard a bunch of commotion and whistling outside. And then I heard bang, 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 3 shots. I went to go look out the window and it looked like there was a Honda over there that crashed. And I found out it was an observer that got shot and killed. And I saw them carry it. I got a bunch of video of them carrying the body to the ambulance and stuff. So there's an observer that got shot at an ICE raid of the house next door.
I'm sure that was a scary thing to witness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty right-leaning, but seeing this is not what you need to do. This is not how to do it. It's not how we're supposed to do things around here in America. So,
what was how many agents and other people were here when that?
When it first started, there was maybe 20, but now there's hundreds. And then they got everybody out, so it's kind of crazy right now.
What's it been like seeing all of this?
Kind of scary. I lived during the riots in 2020, so it's kind of paralleling that right now. It's kind of same feeling. Hoping it doesn't, but it's getting a little rowdy.
Now, I'm going to play more of these clips later, but I'll just show you a few. We have Pablo Manriquez with the MeidasTouch Network on Capitol Hill asking lawmakers what they feel. Democratic Congressmember Johnson told the MeidasTouch Network the following.
All right, Mr. Johnson, can I get any reaction to the shooting death in Minnesota by the ICE agent of the lady in the car?
Like a homicide for which there should be criminal charges.
Thank you,
Shooting
sir.
into a moving vehicle 4 times, traffic stop, murder.
Congressmember Gomez told the MeidasTouch Network the following.
Mr. Gomez, any reaction to the shooting death of the lady in Minnesota by the ICE agent today?
Yeah, it was murder. It was obvious that she was just driving away. She wasn't driving into the ICE agent. I think that the Attorney General in Minnesota has to take a hard look and probably file charges against them. I think it was disgusting. I pointed out earlier that this was eventually going to happen because you have these agents from all over the country, probably without a lot of training, getting sent into these communities and ratcheting up their enforcement in a way that's pretty reckless. Was going to endanger the lives of U.S. citizens as well as people who are not documented but are not a threat. And this was exactly the fear that I always had when it came to these ICE agents, and why I'm also scared about the expansion of ICE and CBP using that $175 billion slush fund. I think it's gonna be more attacks. It's gonna be more, I would say, untrained individuals that shouldn't be on our streets, and this is across the country. So I think the Attorney General has to take Minnesota has to take a hard look at it, and then Congress has to figure out if these people have immunity, that we can strip them of that immunity if they violate the law.
Got it. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.
Congressmember Goldman told the MeidasTouch Network, he's a former federal prosecutor, told the MeidasTouch Network the following. Play this clip.
Invading our cities, using excessive force lawlessly with new agents without proper training. And sadly, this was not unexpected, but it is egregious. It was an outright murder. And the fact that the administration is trying to defend the ICE officer when everyone can see with their own eyes that car was trying to get away because it still turned away from the officer after she was shot in the head. So the fact that they are arguing that somehow this is domestic terrorism, much less an attack on ICE, is preposterous. This officer not only needs to be fired and suspended, but based on the video, he needs to be charged with murder.
And do you think that will happen?
I have no idea what will happen.
Do you need to look at the Homeland Security budget as a result?
I think we will have to, yes.
And just so you see what's going on here as well, we have other protesters earlier in the day getting shot in the face with less lethal weapons from the ICE Gestapo. Here, play this clip.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Let go!
Kill someone else! Go for it! Kill someone else!
kill one person today. Okay, cool.
Folks, we're going to keep you posted every step of the way here at the MeidasTouch Network. Let me just show you this from Governor Walz, though, quickly, where he reminds the people, do not buy into what the Trump regime is trying to provoke. They want you not to be peaceful so they can send in the army and the military and declare martial law. Here's his warning. Play this clip.
Back. Let me be clear. Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident, but we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. We can't give them what they want.
There you have it, folks. Hit subscribe, help us get to 6 million, and thanks so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.